YouTube, what's going on? Trey back again to hit you with a video. Now this video right here is an update from a case that happened back in 2014 when we had a young man, unfortunate situation he was involved in. Goes by the name of Laquan McDonald. He was 17 years old, which means he would have been 21 today if he was still alive. Now this young man was gunned down in a hail of bullets, just like the words they want to use. Yes, a hail of bullets. I'm not talking about what a devil at. No. Onslaught of bullets. And when I first seen the video, I remember seeing it some years ago, and I was like, damn, what did this guy do? Because you could barely see the video. I ain't know if he had a weapon or not. But come to find out, as time goes on, just like a lot of other cases, more details about these cases come out. So it was allegedly said that this guy was involved in a burglary. They got some kind of burglary call, and they seen this guy walking with a hoodie on, and he allegedly has a knife. Now, that wasn't the crazy part. The crazy part is the fact that he's walking in the middle of the street and the officer shows up. But they said they was waiting on somebody to come with a stun gun. And I don't know why you had those many officers on the scene and you did not have anybody with a stun gun. Usually, most cops, it's not all of them, have a stun gun and a weapon on them. If you have seen a few of them that's out there patrolling without it, please let me know in the comment section. But 9 times out of 10, they got it, or they got it in their vehicle. You mean you have it on you some type of way. So what's the point? What's the point of using deadly force? Now, I understand the guy have a weapon, a knife, and a knife, you know what I'm saying, is a weapon just like a gun is. But basically, you know what I'm saying, if the guy is not coming towards you and your life is not in danger, why gun the guy down? It used to be where they'll try to wrestle a weapon away. But I guess that doesn't work no more. Ever since Donald Trump became president, it's like ever since Barack Obama also, let's just keep it real all the way 100, because when we really started hearing about all these killings was when Barack came into office, not when Donald Trump came into office. Because if that's the case, go back and look before Trump got here. Did we already hear about these cases? Yes or no? Right. So what I'm trying to say is this, is the fact that these officers, especially the officer Jason Van Dyke, even though he was found guilty, and that's a good thing that he was found guilty, he just pulled up on the scene like he was damn Rambo or somebody and just gunned the guy down. And you could see even when the guy was falling and he's on the pavement, you could still see those little sparks that you see behind it, because I couldn't show the video, but I'm going to leave the link in the description below so you can go check it out. And please check it out. You know what I'm saying? It's very graphic, I must warn you. But you can see those bullets hitting the concrete as the guy is already laying down and incapacitated. And the goal of where it was said that we was taught that the goal of the police is to, if the person don't want to comply with the officer orders, is to incapacitate them, whether with a beanbag, stun gun, or you shoot. But it's like they shoot to kill and ask questions later. And this guy was shot 16 times as he was backing away. He was backing away. But Jason Van Dyke said that the guy was approaching him with the weapon. He felt like his life was in danger, because you got to make it justified. And so that's the reason why he gunned the guy down. And even if he was coming towards you, which he wasn't, because the video clearly shows that as he's falling, why keep shooting the guy? Even as he's on the ground, shaking, you still shooting the guy, because we see the damn bullets hitting the concrete behind him. That right there is clearly overkill, and that was basically a modern day slaughter. I'm going to read a snippet from this story, and I'm going to give my opinion. Surely, as we go. Chicago cop, guilty of killing black teen, shooting him 16 times. One bullet is enough. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm glad it ain't me, and I hope I never get shot. I've been stabbed twice, but at the same time, I hope I never get shot. But hell, one shot, good enough. You can just shoot the ground. Okay, I'm good, man. Even though I'm not even gonna make you pull out no gun, but hell, if you do pull it out, you feel me? I hope you shoot at the ground. Don't hit me. Anyway, Chicago police officer Jason Van Dyke found guilty in the shooting death of black teen Laquan McDonald after being shot 16 times as he backed away. 16 damn times, man. A Chicago cop was found guilty on Friday of second-degree murder in a 2014 shooting death of a black teenager, Laquan McDonald, 17 years old, that was captured on dashcam video. The Chicago Sun-Times reported Jason Van Dyke, 40 years old, the first Chicago officer to be charged with murder for on-duty shooting in more than half a century, showed no emotion when the guilty verdict was read. And you would think all these killings going on in Chicago, and that's why we as a people got to do better. We got to treat each other better in these cities. That's why I be saying stop the violence. Love your brother, love your sister, because, you know what I'm saying, we have to honor and respect and love one another first before we can get other people to do the same thing for us. Even though you might say, well, Trey, that ain't right, or that ain't, But still though, because they see us acting like a fool and killing each other, so what you think they're gonna do? They're gonna do the same thing. And then they're gonna say, well, what about when y'all do it? That's the first thing they say. I mean, let's just keep it real. So we must do better as loving and protecting one another also. But at the same time, when stuff like this happens, it's a sad situation because it's just nobody wins in this situation. Even the McDonald family, even this officer family that he left out there on the limb, even though a lot of y'all might don't give a damn about his family, but I'm just making a point. It's not even worth it. I don't even understand why some of these people even go to that distance to do their job. I mean, you're not even doing your job. You pull up and you just open fire on a guy. It's kind of silly. It's just like when Tamir Rice is in the park playing with a BB gun. Now, how many people you don't see in the park playing with a BB gun? Not much as you used to. Notice that. Pulls up, guns down the little kid. No questions asked, anything. I mean, that's just a sad situation. Now, the Chicago Sun-Times reported Jason Van Dyke, 40 years old, the first Chicago officer to be charged with murder in over, what they say, half a century. And all those cops killing people in Chicago, and this is the first one that been charged with murder. Damn, that says a lot about that judicial system. The second-degree verdict reflects the jury's finding that Van Dyke believed his life was in danger, the number one thing they're going to use to justify what they done. But that his belief was unreasonable. It was very unreasonable. The panel of 8 women and 4 men, 7 white, 1 black, 3 Hispanic, and 1 Asian also had the option of first-degree murder, which it should have been, which required a finding that the shooting was unnecessary and unreasonable. It was unnecessary and unreasonable. The guy was not coming after officers. He was not coming after officers, which means if nobody, just say hypothetically speaking, if nobody didn't have a stun gun, you could have called and got one. You could have used all kinds of tactics instead of just jumping out your vehicle, gunning a guy down. I mean, that's senseless. When he's backing away, yes, he's in traffic causing a scene. Whoop-de-doo. But the point is, he's not stabbing nobody. He's not running after you all for you all to say that you were scared and stuff, and he's hitting your car with rocks and bricks trying to make you wreck run off the road. No, it's just no win. It's just a no-win situation in that argument. Now, Van Dyke also was convicted of all 16 counts of aggravated battery and acquitted of official misconduct. I wonder why. The aggravated battery charges stemmed from the black teen being shot in a hail of 16 bullets as he backed away from the police, the Chicago Tribune reported. He was backing away and still gunned down. That's why I say you got to be careful out here. When you see them police, unless you just have it on your mind or you just got you want suicide by cop or you just got some kind of strange death wish, or if you think you Superman and you want to test the strength of those bullets, you go out there and do what you do. But the people out here, calm down. When you be in these situations, you might just got to be fighting somebody. Don't pick up no damn weapon. You tell me, because you could be the victim and somebody just done came and jumped on you. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to gun your ass down. Let's just be for real. So you have to think about situations like this. And please tell your children the same thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Because if this guy would have did that, his life probably could have been saved. But the fact that he had that knife in his hand, they're going to use that. You know what I'm saying? Even if he didn't come after them, which he didn't, because that's what they used against him, saying he felt like his life was in danger. Now, following news of the cops' guilty verdict, car horns and celebratory whoops, were heard outside the Cook County courthouse. You had a whole line of people out there waiting for this thing at the courthouse, and that's a good thing because it shows the city is watching and holding these people, these officers, the judges, the lawyers, the state, accountable for their officers' actions. The city had been bracing for widespread demonstrations had a possible not guilty verdict been reached. Prominent activist and mayoral candidate Jamal Green said, "Today is a step in the right direction. Of course, we wanted first-degree murder, but we got second-degrry murder. Jason Van Dyke needs to go to jail for the rest of his life. And anybody that takes anybody's life here on this earth, whether, you know what I'm saying, no matter what your job is, you know what I'm saying, because we can use these jobs as a lot of things. But if you take a man or a woman life and they did not do anything to you, they did not warrant that, you should lose your life also or go to jail for the rest of your life. But guess what? If you don't get it in this lifetime, you'll get it in the next one for those who believe in reincarnation. But not everyone was pleased with the guilty verdict, with the Illinois Fraternal Order of Police State Lodge President Chris Southwood condemning the verdict. And we can expect the Fraternal Order of Police, the FOP, to feel that way anyway because they behind the police. Tom told Southwell, "This is a day I never thought I'd see in America where 12 ordinary citizens were duped into saving the asses of self-serving politicians at the expense of a dedicated public servant." Did you hear that right there? Let me read it one more time. He told Southwood, "This is a day I never thought I'd see in America, where 12 ordinary citizens were duped into saving the asses of self-serving politicians at the expense of a dedicated public servant." But your public servant was a little bit too dedicated. Now, the ACLU of Illinois issued a statement. "We continue to grieve for the McDonald family and broader community, which lost this young man too soon. We also remember the many families we have lost. We have lost loved ones to excessive force by police officers who have not yet received justice." It's a lot of people. I know a few of them personally. You know what I'm saying? Mr. White. I'm not going to even say his first name because I don't. That case still on investigation. His son got killed. You know what I'm saying? With his arms handcuffed behind his back, shot in the chest. You know what I'm saying? And they said the boy shot himself. Now, I can't say much about it because that's an ongoing story, but it's a lot of strange things to be going on. No one believes that the conviction of this individual officer repairs the problems in policing, not in Chicago, nor in our country. While Mr. Van Dyke will face accountability for his actions, it is critical that the rest of us do not yet look away from the Chicago Police Department. In the aftermath of this verdict, no community should suffer abuse or neglect. And that's so true. That's so true. Now, on the day of McDonald's shooting death, cops had been called out after reports of a burglary when police happened upon the teen who was carrying a knife. The boy was soon surrounded on a city street, with police waiting for someone with a stun gun. And why would they say they're waiting for somebody with a stun gun? You mean to tell me you ride around with no stun gun? So everything is just going to be excessive then, which means if you see somebody doing something, you don't have baton on you, you don't have a stun gun, you don't have anything, a beanbag, nothing to incapacitate them without using deadly force, lethal force. How else would you resolve a situation if your words and your vehicles or whatnot don't make them calm down? You're gonna shoot them. Now, shooting even after the youngster was lying on the pavement, and that's just the saddest thing to see the guy shaking and you still trying to take his damn head off. That's intent to kill right there, and that's automatically first-degree murder. I mean, I don't understand. If the goal was to incapacitate the guy, you got other officers there. Why take this man's life like that? Why take his life like that? And this is why I say he should have never had a weapon in his hand. But guess what? We don't see them get gunned down without nothing in their hands or pockets. Prosecutors and defense attorneys argued over what the footage actually proved. And that's a sad thing. It's just like when we watch 9/11. September 9/11. When they try to tell us we ain't see what the hell we know we seen. But anyway, that's a different story for another different time. But what I'm trying to say is this, that they says that the prosecutor and defense attorneys argued over what the footage actually proved. Now, when we heard that before, 9/11, prosecutor Jody Gleason said Van Dyke told investigators that McDonald raised the knife, that the officer backpedaled, and that the teen tried to get up off the ground after being shot. That's a damn lie right there. And you're going to lie on a dead man. You're going to lie on the guy after you done gunned this man down. Say he got up after being shot. What, his spirit got up? That's probably the only thing he got up. Well, I know they got up because you got to go to the upper room to see your maker. But at the same time, you see how they still lie though? But that's the good thing about video. That's a good thing about video. None of that happened, she said. You seen it on video. He made it up, which means he lied to even try to cover up what he done, which they're going to do. Now, Van Dyke's attorney, Dan Herbert, insisted the video didn't tell the whole story and was essentially meaningless based on the testimony. That's all we need to see. That's all we need to see, because guess what? We don't need to see him if he did. Just say if he did. I'm not accusing him. Just allegedly. If he did break in the house. Whoop-de-doo. So what? That can be replaced. And guess what? He'll be fine. He'll pay the price, you know what I'm saying, if he get locked up or whatnot. But your job is not to play judge, jury, and executioner. That's not your job. Your job is to enforce the law, not jump out your vehicle and just gun somebody down, gun-ho style. You feel me? Now, during the testimony, Van Dyke testified fearing for his and fellow officer lives when he fired off no less than 16 gunshots at the youth. The police officer said he was responding in accordance to his training. Well, if they training you like that in CPD, the Chicago Police Department, they need to do away with their training, renew it, or get somebody else to come show y'all how to properly train, because that's not the way that you were trained. I know that for sure, and because I know people in Chicago, and I can guarantee y'all my people in Chicago in the comments section, even some police probably would tell you that's not the way you were trained. Don't sit there and tell that lie, try and justify and say that you was fearing for your life and your fellow officers when all y'all got guns and the guy is not coming toward the vehicle. He's not rushing y'all. He's backing away. I mean, then you shoot him and keep shooting him. You was intended to kill the guy. Now, Herbert cited testimony from Van Dyke's partner that night, Joseph Walsh, who said the teen said he seen the teen raise the knife, even though the video doesn't show that. The guy did not raise the knife. The guy did not raise the knife. And if he did raise the knife, he was in a damn street. You in a vehicle. Can he catch up? Can he run and catch a damn vehicle? Okay, if he coming after you in a vehicle, you just hit the gas. He can't catch it unless he flash, and I ain't mean to make that rhyme. So what the hell they trying to mean if you raise the knife? See, they gonna try to find any little instance to convict you just on that and use that as merit, as warrant enough to proceed with the action that they did, which was gunning this guy down, shooting him 16 times. Not they, he, because it was one person that killed this guy. Now, the video is not enough, he said. It shows a perspective, but it's the wrong perspective. Perspective is judgmental. It changes. Your perspective might not be my perspective. You might look at things this way. I may look at things that way. So watch when they use these broad terms that be thrown out. Following a guilty verdict, Herbert called Van Dyke's a sacrificial lamb offered by political and community leaders who have been under heightened scrutiny to save themselves. And they should be, because guess what? You can't keep gunning people down. You just can't keep gunning people down. And people want to throw up, well, Mike Brown was this, you know what I'm saying? Or Eric Garner, he was this, or Philando Castile, he was this. You know what I'm saying? All these situations are that. You know, but you can't sit up here and keep taking people's lives and keep expecting the community not to do something about it. You can only keep the wolves down for so long, because what's going to happen, you're going to start a whole civil war, a whole uproar over some BS, because once the people start feeling safe, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to understand, it's more of them than you. They just let you have the power. It's just like in prison. Anybody will tell you that. And so that's the magical thing about a mind, is that you can make a person believe what you want them to believe. You need to hear me on this. When the guys wake up in prison, guess what? You only have about what? In a prison, about 2,000 to 3,000 men. You probably only have average, maybe 40, 50 correctional officers, plus the maintenance people there at any given time. So you mean to tell me 40, 50 people can keep a few thousand men in check who have a life sentence? But you know what? They've been conditioned and taught to believe this type of way. So you have to teach them. You have to ingrain that in them. But in the day that them guys want to wake up and be free, they can do it. Some of y'all might get killed. You might be on the news, but guess what? Any day they want to wake up and just say this is it, they can do it. And ain't nothing they can do, because last time I checked, 2,000 to 3,000 people are more than 40 or 50 people. You know, some might get gunned down, but guess what? Anytime they want to take the power back, they can take the power back. In the same in these communities. Anytime the people get fed up, and that's why they don't want us to come together, because if we come together, we really can inflict change. That's why you still have all these racisms going on. You still have people making these type of videos about racism. And it's not really about the racism thing, because guess what? As I checked, that we all going through hell across this damn world. They just give us more class and a little more prestige in the next one. But guess what? We all getting pimped in the end. I ain't going to say too much. Let's go and finish this up. Now, the lawyer said it was a sad day for law enforcement, because the verdict told officers they couldn't do their job. Now, the verdict told officers they have to do their jobs by the book. It did not say that they couldn't do their jobs. You know what I'm saying? And big shout out to all the good police out there. But at the same time, the good police, and to call yourself a good police, which means you have to call out the bad cops. Because if your job is to protect and serve, that means you have to do that for everybody. So be careful of what you think you are. If you're a good cop, be a good cop. But be a good cop when it's time to be a good cop. Stop turning your head to everything goes on in these departments. Because trust me, from one end of the coast to the other end of the coast, up and down, north, south, it's mess going on in every police department. That's why I said big shout out to the good cops out there. Because you got some cops who knows what their fellow officers are doing wrong, but they don't speak out against them in fear of losing their job because they have families to feed, or in retaliation of their life. You never know how deep these rabbit holes go in these different departments across this country. Now, police officers are going to become security guards. He said he just goes on and on saying this stuff. Anyway, I'm going to leave a link to that so you all can go check it out. I don't want to drag this video out too long. And I'm glad that Jason Van Dyke has got convicted, because it shows one damn thing. Guess what? Yeah, you may get away with it sometimes, and that's with anybody, but you're not going to get away with it all the time. The point is, treat people the way you want to be treated. And also, don't be out there, not saying that this guy broke in the house, but going on with the story. Don't be out here doing illegal activities where you would put your life in danger. Don't be walking down the street with no weapon. And please, you remember that and tell your children that, your loved ones that. You know, stop trying to play tough or be tough. Not saying that this guy was phoning. It's nothing like that, because people take your words and twist them. Not saying that. try to live a good, righteous life. If you do, this will not happen. Just in case it does happen, at least you will be in the right. You know what I'm saying? Your soul be welcome home. We're going to die one day, but hell dying like this. Let me know what you all think about this video. If you like the video, push that like button. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely share the video. At the same time, we must respect each other, love one another, and I'm not up here bashing cops like a lot of these other videos do. No, because I have people in my family that are law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? I have an uncle that's a warden of a jail, even though he's retired. Now he's retired. He did like 23 years there. He's retired. So I have people in law enforcement, and this is just not me talking. I know the protocol. You feel what I'm saying? I know the protocol. They taught me. You know what I'm saying? My dad was in the Air Force, retired from the Air Force. So we know one thing about respect. But at the same time, just like he said, perspective is all based on your perspective. But don't never lose sight of what that video show you, because I can show you a video and I can tell you something that's not even on the video. But if I tell you with a stern face long enough, you'll believe it. You will see that. Anyway, y'all stay blessed. Have a great day. I'm out.